Welcome back, everyone. I got quite the treat for you today. We're testing out this cheap night vision setup, infrared style, on this quarter-mile track through the woods. Can you drive a vehicle solely off of infrared night vision? How cheap can you do it? Is a security camera off Amazon good enough? So here's the equipment. These two cameras I got in a bundle for $35. So if you do some quick maths, that's about $17.50 per camera. Now, in the interest of moving things along, I already tested this camera and this camera looking at the TV, and I believe this one has slightly better quality, so we're going with that one. This is an infrared floodlight. These are pretty common on Amazon. Also runs on 12 volts, just like the security camera. Makes things real easy for us. It's just like the cameras. These have a very big range in price. This one was about $20 to $25. So here's our plan. The security camera and the infrared light are both getting their 12 volt source from the cigarette lighter in the vehicle. Now the feed from the security camera is going to come in to the vehicle and then get split off to go right to the TV. Now here's where I'm cheating a little bit. The television I'm going to run off of a battery-powered inverter in the cab of the truck. Now there's a bunch of different ways you could go about this to keep the cost down. What I'm doing is using a TV I already own and an inverter I already own. Also, you can get small 12-volt monitors that would keep this all consolidated well. And there's a bunch of different ways you can go. You could get a cigarette outlet inverter that only does like 100 watts. They're incredibly cheap, and that'll be enough to power most small TVs. So now let's convert that diagram to real life. One, for the infrared light, I need to reach outside of the vehicle, so we're going to attach some speaker wire to these leads and run them into the cab where they'll join up with this. As for the leads going to the camera, they can be much shorter, as we just need this to reach over to the back of the television. And then the rest of this is what's going to go outside and mount to the camera on the roof. So I just cut this at the length of double my arm span. Probably going to be more than enough. Now these are pretty thin gauge wires, so I stripped them at double the length I need. Then we just fold them over like so, and boop, Bob is your uncle. And then you just repeat the same thing for the other side. Now I'm mounting the infrared light and the camera to my truck with magnets. So one thing we need to do is drill out one of these base holes on the camera to the same size as the mount on the magnet. Alright, so I know it's hard to tell from the general mess on my desk, but we're ready to go. So let's get this thing mounted, tested, and we're driving. And there it is installed. So, what are we going to do to test it? Well, I've got a course from here out into the woods and back. It's a quarter-mile round trip. I'm going to do one driving, looking out the windshield like normal. That'll give us a baseline. I'm going to do it a second time where I only look at the monitor, but it's still daylight out. It makes things a little easier. And then the third test is going to be nighttime, where it's pitch black and I can only drive off of what I see on the monitor. All right, so there we are. We're going to do our first test. So we'll go ahead and start the clock right now. So for this test, I'm going to be looking straight out the windshield. That way we can get a baseline. And then later on, we'll do it again where I'm just looking at the TV. And you can see this course is pretty narrow. There's some spots where you have to zigzag because the trees are actually closer together than the width of the truck when you include the mirrors. So you got to kind of zigzag to get the mirrors clear. And then when we get to the end here, you'll see there's quite the maze that is going to prove extremely difficult to do in the pitch black. And that was about 650 feet, so now we're going to swing around and head right back. Time! 2:14, count it! So now for this test, I'm going to be staring at the monitor and not looking out the windshield the whole time. Ready? Go. Whoa, this is going to take so much getting used to. Because I'm not as close as it looks in this monitor. Look at that. Okay, so I need to get way over here. Ooh. And time 3:35. All right, so here we are, ready for our night test. Go ahead and shut the headlights off. Now it is pitch black outside. I'm ready to start the clock. We're off. I gotta admit, this is not nearly as good as I originally thought it was gonna be. The quality is so bad, and oh man, I'm so far off. And not only is the picture quality bad, but the light is just not being cast in the way that I anticipated. I just got too close. There's a tree pushing in on the passenger door right over there. All right, that tree, yeah. Oh man, this is so difficult. All right, I'm gonna have to cheat real quick. Man, it is so hard to tell how close, like there's no, like how close am I to that tree? Is this a foot? Is this 5 inches? What? I don't know. So this is about the 650 foot mark. Can't remember if I mentioned that already. This trail's about a quarter-mile round trip. Okay. Am I gonna hit that tree or nope? Yeah, see, it's so hard to tell how far away I am. Like, I think right there I need to start turning, but no, I'm gonna hit that tree. Ooh, and I think I'm hitting one already on my door over here. Yeah, I was. All right, I'm gonna have to cheat and turn the lights on. I honestly thought this was gonna be a... Oh no. I honestly thought this was gonna be a lot easier. All right, I gotta turn the lights on again to get through here so I don't destroy my truck any further. Oh. The problem is the depth perception. Like with my lights on, I can tell I have a foot between here and this tree, but it doesn't look like it at all. So I'm cutting corners tighter than I should, and it's making me run into trees diagonally, you know, when I'm starting to straighten out. All right, lights off. And wow. So I saw 11 minutes right before I hit the wrong button and cleared that timer. Wow, 11 minutes. That is so much worse than I anticipated. That's over an 8-minute difference in times between daytime monitor and nighttime monitor. And I think a lot of that comes from how at nighttime I can only see what's on the monitor, and during the day you can still see the trees out of your peripheries. So you get a lot from being able to still tell where the trees are once you've passed them, because that was an issue I kept running into, is once you drive a little bit by a tree, it disappears and then you have no idea how close it is while you're taking a corner. So I just wanted to talk real quick about infrared night vision. That's what I used here. Infrared in around 810, 830 nanometers, which is just off of the visible spectrum of light. So that's why we can't see it, but the camera can see it. And this isn't anything new. This has been around for years and years and years. I mean, hunters, firefighters, law enforcement, everybody uses it, military. And there's some aftermarket companies that make infrared lights designed for cars. There's even car manufacturers that have infrared night vision as options that you can buy with certain cars, dating back like 15 or 20 years too. This is nothing new. I just figured out a way to do it cheap and easy. You know, there's a lot more that needs to be done with this setup. You know, while I'm driving along, the screen is like pulsing, and every time I hit a bump, there's lines cutting out across the video feed, and it's very difficult to use driving at night. I wouldn't even recommend it. This setup in its current state isn't very safe and clearly needs a lot more work, so stay tuned for part 2 and we'll see you next time. As long as you're in front of the truck, you can't really see it coming, but then once I drive by, it's like the whole world can see just my face staring at a TV screen.